morning. I swear a lot.
Hello friends and welcome back to Limbus Company. Welcome back to Canto 8. We finally beat the dungeon. It took goddamn ages, but we did manage it, finally. Chu was tough. An ego user, I didn't even notice, to be blunt. I was too busy dealing with him trying to beat an answer out of Honglu, which was pretty funny. But now, everything's fine. The Canto's over, right? Dante was basically like, yeah, that's how the hierarch evaluation ended. Like, the whole thing's over. We can all go home now. There'll be no problems. What do you mean there's an entire part of the Canto left to go? No. It's all just going to be cutscenes. Nothing's going to happen. It'll be fine. Look. Zishun's going to be the hierarch of Hongyan. Simple stuff. That is a creepy image.
원컨대 내 어깨 밑에 날개라도 돋아.
Leaning into a lot of bird stuff at the moment, aren't we?
가는 꽃 따라 하늘 높이 날고 지고. 하늘 끝 어디에 꽃무덤 있을까?
If only we knew.
너는 지금 죽어 내가 묻어주지만 내가 죽으면 어느 날에 묻힐까? 사람들은 꽃잎 묻어주는 나를 비웃지만 이 다음에 나를 묻어줄 사람은 누구일까? 묻힌 나를 보고 슬퍼할 이는 없겠지. 어느 날 아침 봄이 다하고 꽃잎 지는 무렵이 오는 것처럼 모든 건 한 무더기 흙으로 흘러가 버리면 그만일 테니.
I fear the remainder of this canto will reaffirm this belief, but we'll see.
자, 손에 잔들 들고
Drink.
시춘이가 가주가 되는 것을 축하하며
May her 5-minute reign be plentiful and filled with good fortune, until she is inevitably assassinated by someone.
위하여!
Long may she reign. Once all the guests had taken their seats, the banquet hall became packed, crowded, and chaotic. Except for where we were sitting.
위하여.
Rieo, yep. Huzzah.
뭐야, 왜 아무도 안 해? 이럴 때는 신나게 먹고 놀고 마셔줘야 또 힘을 내서 다음 임무도 하고 그러지.
She really is a lady after my own heart, but I think maybe everyone can sense that something's wrong.
본인은 했소만.
그러고 보니 이번엔 소드한테 축하 편지 같은 거 안 오려나?
You watch, she's gonna send us a fucking letter saying, now that you've done it, you have to assassinate Zishun. And I'm like, fuck's sake.
이봐. 혹시 우리 앞으로 편지 같은 건 없었어?
서신은커녕 쪽지 한 점 없었습니다만.
Well, I suppose you better go find it then, huh, buddy?
매정하긴 우린 2위라고 2위.
We're a pretty big deal, you know. Rudia grumbled. I wasn't sure whether it was this poor servant or the oddly silent sword she was calling rude.
보호가 다친 곳 하나 없이 무사하니?
Technically, yes, but after the clock turning, no. Also, gotta be honest, Lady Wang, I'm not trying to be rude here, kinda forgot you existed.
네, 괜찮아요.
내내 불안했단다. 갑작스레 무슨 연유로 그런 위험천만한 것을 하겠다고.
It's this big old thing. I like to call it none of your business.
어떻게 여기까지 오게 된 거니?
Walked, presumably.
그것은 말일세. 제목을 붙인다면 우리 림버스 커플이가 2위라는 영예를 차지하게 된 일에 대하여 가족했군. 자, 긴 이야기는 아닐세. 그러니까
She lied as naturally as she breathed. This story would take at least half an hour. Because the adventure itself took about 5 hours, actually way more than that.
시시각각 좁혀져오는 벽, 마구잡이로 덤벼든 후보자들. 그러다 이 역경에 꺾여 있으랴. 우리는 오해가 있군요. 제 말의 뜻은 어떤 경로로 이곳까지 왔냐는 것이었는데.
Don't worry, it happens a lot.
가마를 타고 왔답니다. 어머니?
It's a weirdly specific question, though.
그래. 그렇다면 선임분들께 들리지는 않았겠구나.
What, are we having our palanquin privileges revoked?
먼저 인사를 드리고 와야 하지 않겠니?
If I was him, I'd be like, fuck that. I don't ever want to see those creepy fuckers ever again.
네 소식을 누구보다 애타게 기다리실 텐데.
Look, I'm 90% certain that, like, the jade eye in Honglu's face is pretty much just a camera so that they can watch stuff, so they know exactly where he is right now.
네, 곧 찾아뵈려고요.
But God forbid we take, like, 5 seconds to celebrate or something.
절 기다리긴 하셔도 제 소식을 기다리진 않으시겠지만요.
I think they'd be more interested in Zishun right now.
무사히 복귀하셨군요.
And you're not dead! Fucking cosmic!
태욱, 너도 무사했구나. 네, 상처는 많이 나아졌습니다. 생명보험까지 이용할 정도의 부상은 아니라 다행이었죠.
Despite the fist-sized bullet, everything's fine.
그건 그렇고 그대들은 어찌 되신 겁니까?
At least she's learning.
가마를 탔소.
But don't you want to know about our fight with Chu? It was pretty cool.
예?
She's like, no, I want to know what happened in there.
돈키호테? 저건 정말 우리가 어떻게 이 일을 해서 왔는지를 묻는 거야.
Now's your time. Shine, Don, shine.
그랬던 것인가? 네, 그렇습니다. 괜찮으시다면 어떻게 된 건지 잠시 이야기를 들려주실 수 있겠습니까?
And don't leave out any details. I want a 4-hour recollection of the competition with exact details and of Foreman's brilliant strategizing that led us to victory.
그렇다면
그래. 이제 말해도 돼.
Get going.
알겠네. 자, 어디서부터 시작하냐면
We must first explore the very concept of a competition. What does it mean? Several hours pass.
우리가 가치우라는 자랑 가환 그놈과 한 방에 모이게 되었을 때부터 그렇게 말한 뒤에 가치우라는 자가 글쎄 그대로 자신의 수하들과 함께 돌아서서 방을 나가는 것이 아닌가?
And yet, exceedingly fortunate, for we would have never won that fight, not in a million fucking years.
야, 정신사 나오니까 조용히 좀 말해.
그래서 어떻게 되었냐면 말이지.
We were the only ones left in that room, alone with over 100 coins that Xia Chu had left behind. As he and Xia Huan both suddenly elected to forfeit from the game, also noticed that Xia Huan was not wearing his ego, I don't know why.
이제 어떻게 해야 하죠?
Now we go spend these coins in Vegas. At this strange turn of events, we all stood around aghast and dumbfounded. Even Ishmael was stuttering, just as confounded and lost as anyone else was about what happened.
그러니까 이 동전들을 가져가면 우리는 1등을 하는 건데요.
Which we're not allowed to do, yes.
아니, 애초에 왜 저희에게 이걸 주고 간 거죠?
I mean, I'm getting the impression that Chu actually has no desire to be the hierarch, but wanted to make sure that the new hierarch was someone worthy. Kinda like that person that we met at the start, who then met Chu later on, was like, I'm not actually trying to win, I'll just give my coins to whoever I think is worth it. And he thought Chu was worth it, and Chu was like, I'm not worth it. Or they came to an agreement where Wang was like, hey, Chu, I'll give you the coins, and then you give the coins to whoever you think deserves to win. And Chu was like, alright, bet. I'm calling him Wang because I can't remember his actual name. I can only remember his family name.
너 지금 5번째 같은 말만 하는 거 알고 있냐?
And yet, we don't have an answer.
저도 짐작 가는 바가 없네요. 가치오 형님의 의중은
I think that's a new expression.
헌데 홍록은 표정이 조금 비었구려.
Is that brighter? I'm not sure.
그런가요?
Really?
이전보다 후련해진 것만 같소.
제가 그런 말을 뱉게 될 줄은 미처 몰랐어서요.
Lo and behold, you did.
상냥함이에요.
Kindness. I would personally posit that the term would be compassion, but that would really be splitting hairs, to be honest. The intent is the intent, and the intent is clear.
그것은 관심이고 동시에 감싸 중이죠. 바로 옆에서 울고 있는 친구가 있다면 같이 슬퍼하고 상냥하면서도 따뜻하게.
The funny thing is that Chu did end up considering it to be like a decent answer. He was like, yeah, well, there's problems with it, but, you know, I see it, I get it. His expression would imply that he thinks this is the stupidest fucking thing he's ever heard, and he's about to cave Hongler's head in with his fucking staff.
그 말은 넓게 흐르며 만물을 감싸려 하는 강과 같군.
그건 아주 오래전 지나갔던 일이라고 여기고 있었거든요.
It's interesting by this point, because, like, for most of this canto, I was convinced that something external had been done to Hongler to suppress his emotions. It's interesting to see that it's like, no, he actually just metaphorically and symbolically, kind of literally, buried them, and that's why he is the way he is. It's not even choosing to be this way, he simply is this way. A self-defense mechanism for trauma? Probably, but I'm not qualified to thoroughly analyze it. Hongler's expression had changed just as Yi-sang observed. There was a degree of surprise shown towards something new, but it was also the smile of someone whose burden had suddenly been lifted.
그런데 이거 참 2등을 못하면 못했지 1등까지 할 동전들을 얻게 될 거라고는 생각도 못했는데.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was going to happen, did it?
그러고 보니
At that moment, I'm pretty sure we were all thinking of the same person.
계시잖아요. 가주가 되기를 간절히 원하는 분이
And it sure would be funny if she won.
포기하지 않고
이번엔 진짜 찌부러질 뻔했네.
Congratulations, you win.
아가씨 괜찮으십니까?
Both covered in a lot of blood.
뭐야, 너희?
We're just here winning the whole competition. Hi, we've been looking for you. You can't hear me.
뭐라는 거야?
Because it could have easily have been, hello, prepared to die.
너희들 왜 단체로 그런 기묘한 표정을 짓고 있는 건데?
Happy birthday. Sometime later.
이걸 나한테 내어준다고?
Sure, we only want enough to come second place.
그래. 그러니까 이걸로 서로 퉁친 거다.
Because at the end of the day, we actually did more to help you than we could have if we were in your faction, I'm pretty sure. Zishun and Wei couldn't appear more serious if they tried, despite Rhodia's chummy attempts at breaking the ice. To be fair, if I was them, I would assume that this was like a ploy to lower our guard. Like, I would be fully suspicious of the sinners right now, for sure.
내가 뭐 불쌍해 보여? 동정심이라도 든 거야? 무슨...
Nah, we just don't want to win, we told you before.
내 생각이지만 말이야. 시춘,
Uh-huh.
치우 형님께선 내가 가주가 되라는 뜻으로 여태 모은 동전들을 넘겨준 건 아닌 것 같아.
Continuing the chain. Wang gave it to Chu, saying give the, and they agreed, we'll give the coins to who we think deserves it the most. Chu gave it to Hongler, with the unspoken implication of give it to who you think deserves it the most. Chu might have even decided that, like, yeah, Z shouldn't be a good shout, which is why he spared her earlier on. Possible.
내가 적재적소에 사용할 것을 기대하고 넘겨주셨다고 생각해.
It does kind of make sense.
그러니 불쌍하게 여겨서 주는 건 아니야. 나보다 적합한 주인에게 돌아가는 편이 좋을 것 같았거든.
Plus, I can't stress how much Hongler can't be the hierarch. He's in a contract. Despite the fact that he could literally take the hierarch position and then order his entire fucking wing to just destroy Limbus, wouldn't be very difficult, frankly. Limbus is strong, but, like, then I don't think they're at corp level. And, yeah, then Hongler could just sit comfy on the throne, but I don't really think he wants to. Also, that would be quite messy. Like, that wouldn't be as clear-cut as I'm making it out to be. Limbus does have a lot of stuff. Some of it they probably shouldn't have.
고작 이런 걸로 빚이 전부 청산될 거라고 착각하지 마.
I would say it does make us even for the Broken Alliance. It doesn't make you even for the problems that you and Honglu have specifically.
오빠가 내게 갚아야 할 시간은 앞으로 많아.
That's fair.
아가씨가 말로 다 못할 만큼 감사하다고 하십니다.
And then Wei jumps in like, by the way, she does say thank you. But also, she's making it clear that this doesn't fix everything. Normally, Zishun would get irritated whenever Wei butted in, but she appeared to have grown calmer. Much calmer. Instead of lashing out with her usual exasperation, she only stared at the tall pile of coins with a quiet but conflicted look.
이상하네.
I don't think she ever actually expected to win.
이렇게 쌓아 올려진 동전들을 보고 있으니까 꼭 대관원의 방들을 보고 있는 것 같아. 어렸을 땐 그게 그렇게 싫었는데.
An interesting parallel.
계속 보고 있으니까 언젠가부터 그 풍경 앞에서 태어나게 되더라고. 아마 그때부터 나도 대관원을 떠나야겠다고 마음먹었던 것 같아.
Ah.
가주라.
But you kinda can't leave now.
내가 홍원의 가주 역할을 잘 해낼 수 있을까?
That's what I find a little bit interesting about the hierarchy evaluations. Like, I love how hype it is. I love that it's this big contest. I love that we had a big battle royale fight in the abandoned building of one of the most concerning travesties that ever occurred in this part of the city. Notice I'm being very specific about my phrasing because horrible shit happens everywhere here all the time. But I wouldn't say that any of what just happened would really indicate what would make a good hierarch, you know? Like, yeah, there are some tests of leadership, because obviously you're leading your faction through, and there are a couple like, what should you do here? And then, of course, there's this room where it's like, what is the virtue of the hierarch and stuff? But nothing here, I would say, in either round of the hierarch evaluations would prepare someone or be a good test of whether or not they'd be a good hierarch. You know? Does it matter? Not really. Not in the grand scheme of things. But I find it interesting, because it's like, who will become the hierarch? Well, probably the strongest, really. Unless basically kingmakers like Chu just come in and go, I tell you what, I'm fucking deciding who wins this, not you. Not some stupid competition that does not test the virtues of one's character. I'll make that assessment myself, and with my strength, I'll make sure it goes that way. Now, whether or not that turns out well remains to be seen. Yeah, Zishun's won, but I'd be fucking shocked, truly pleased, but shocked if she still held a position by the end of the canto, or even the end of, like, the next two cutscenes. I hope she does, I really do. It's an interesting dynamic. The politicking here is not what one would quite expect.
그럴 거야.
Anyone can be, so why can't you?
또 그렇게 대책 없이 대답한다.
Never.
일어나자, 시춘.
You've got a wing to burn.
가주 심사가 곧 끝날 거야.
히스클리프 씨, 뭐예요?
Is he stealing coins?
카메라 보면서 연 날리고 있는데? 경기 다 끝났는데 뭐 어쩔 거야.
Can't disqualify me, the game's over. Fuck you. I want to see more sports people do that. Right? The moment, like, the whistle's blown at the end of the match, they just start flipping off the fucking crowd. But of course, everything's so, like, you know, they got leagues and shit nowadays that if they did that, they'd get suspended for multiple games or whatever. But I still want to see it. It'd be fucking hilarious. It's the only reason I would pay any attention to sport.
아, 들리는군. 눈을 감고 이렇게 집중하고 있으면 어디선가 들려오는 무수한 박수갈채가.
The roaring applause. There was no audience, no applause, nor dramatic stage lights to celebrate our success, but we still managed to neatly and comfortably secure both first and second place nonetheless. And I imagine a lot of people are going to be unhappy about it. Which means that we managed to successfully complete our objective here at the Family Hierarch War.
뭐 그렇게 됐었지.
And then Rhodia necked an entire bottle of vodka and it was fucking insane. Gregor, who took the reins of Don Quixote's epic retelling after she left mid-explanation to share her adventurous tales with the servants, finished the story.
그렇군요. 같이 그자가
I would like to point out that even though he was holding back, we still had to fight him, and it sucked. And by it sucks, I mean it was fun, but in terms of the actual experience, I imagine it sucked. Because he hits like a truck and has an entire Heishu pack.
아직도 모르겠네요. 왜 마지막에 그런 선택을 했던 걸까요?
Because he's going for that whole wise traveling warrior vibe, which is fucking sick. And honest to God, I swear to you, the fight with Chu led me to come to really appreciate like quarterstaff fighting. Even though I wouldn't say he was necessarily using a quarterstaff, but you know that kind of style, the spin around, the twirls and stuff. It made me like that a lot more. In fact, when I play Kenshi nowadays, because I play in my off time to relax, I usually use a quarterstaff now because of Chu. Because it's cool.
저희가 보았던 가치우님의 시절과 저희가 보지 못했던 대관원 밖의 시절이
That's a point. What experience did he have?
마음의 차이를 만들어냈을 거라 생각합니다. 제가 그럴듯이요.
Context.
처음엔 그냥 적개심이 가득한 위험한 사람일 거라고만 생각했는데
It was certainly set up that way, yes.
뭔가 다른 생각이 있는 것 같아요. 그자가 그저 복수심만으로 대관원에 돌아온 건 아닌 것 같고
하지만 복수에 대해 수도 없이 생각해봤을 것 같아요. 가족들을 죽인 자들의 숨통을 몇 번고 다시 끊어내는 모습에 대해서.
Of course, that's what makes the person that Chu is today all the more impressive, because he had every excuse and every reason to become an absolute fucking terror. And he could have come to Hongyan and became a tyrant quite easily, and he could have ruled the place with an iron fist, but he did none of those things. He sought change, he sought progress, he sought the advocation of compassion and kindness. Whether or not he succeeded truly is something only time can tell, but the fact that he's become that person means quite a lot.
어쩌면 지금도 완전히 놓지 못했을지도요.
Plus, he either found ego or manifested ego, so that's interesting. Definitely gonna look into that, we obviously aren't. I want to see him fight Ricardo. He would probably beat Ricardo. I guess Lee would be the next big one, wouldn't it? I want to see a big fight. I want to be in big fights, I also want to see them.
드러내지 않기 위해 끊임없이 노력하고 있을 것 같아요.
He balances his emotions, he keeps under control. Sinclair muttered in a placid, yet almost imperceptibly trembling voice.
그래, 무슨 목적을 가지고 있는지 모르겠다만
But he turned out to be alright.
뭐가 됐든 쉽게 물러날 놈은 아닐 것 같은데.
Which implies that he didn't even want it in the first place.
지속해서 두고 봐야 할 자라는 것에는 동감한다.
뭐 그것도 그렇지만
Anyway, it's Yi Sang's turn to do shots, and he's like,
중요한 건 우리 시춘이가 가주가 되었다는 거지.
it's pretty big.
우리가 2등을 차지해서 임무에 알맞게 성공해버린 것도 물론이고
Except we're gonna go to the treasury and the bow will be gone, because of course it will be. It appeared to me the rodeo was already in a post-mission mode, as though the golden bow was already in our hands, which it wasn't, and isn't, and probably won't be.
저기 이 뭔가 따놓은 당상이라고 생각하는 것 같아서 노파심이 하는 말인데.
Plus, it's worth pointing out, we have not actually clapped eyes on this golden bow. We've only heard that it's there and been told that it's there, which realistically would be enough, but this is a narrative, so it's not enough.
그 임무 성공이란 말은 함부로 단언하지 않는 편이 좋을지도 몰라.
If you anticipate the worst, you won't be upset by it as much.
설마 저쪽에서 한 입으로 두말하겠어?
Yes, they would.
말하고 나니까 조금 불안해지긴 하네.
It's okay, Rodeo. It's gonna happen whether you're aware of it or not.
마지막까지 진짜 아슬아슬했네요.
I don't know. I struggled more with Don Quixote, but that was an end of Kanto fight, so it is a bit different.
시춘 씨도 그렇고 저희도 그렇고.
Oh yeah, she almost got squooshed.
이래서 경기는 막판까지 봐야 한다는 거야.
It ain't over till it's over. You're so right, Heathcliff. If it wasn't for the fact that most of these things I say are fairly common parlance, I would swear that PM are like, right, we need British lines for Heathcliff. Someone, whoever can fucking stomach it, right, draw straws, go to Foreman's channel and nick lines that he says. Now, I know they're not doing that. I'm not so presumptuous as to actually seriously present that, because that would be ridiculous. But sometimes I think maybe they do. With no real actual belief behind it, but it's a warm, fuzzy feeling.
야, 저기 너한테 시비 털었던 놈들한테 가서 약이라도 올려주고 오든가.
Yeah, take the piss out of them, go and do it.
그럴 필요가 있나요?
Also, you know that Honglu won't do that. Not every candidate we ran into during the Hierarch War was here. Some of them are probably dead, others are probably on their way to die. And those who were present were either quietly glaring down at their tables or pulling their hair out and muttering to themselves.
아무튼 시춘 다주가 된 걸 정말 축하해.
Are we actually friends now? Because you've been saying a lot of congrats to Zishun and she hasn't said much.
평생 꿈꾸던 다주가 된 기분은 어떠려나? 제일 먼저 뭘 하고 싶어? 응?
Are you going to institute casual Fridays?
라만차랜드 때부터 딱 알아봤다니까. 이 정도면 우리도 꽤 나쁘지 않은 파트너였지.
It was a good partnership.
웨이 군도 시춘양을 보필하느라 고생이 많았어. 마지막까지 포기하지 않던 마음도 인상 깊었네.
Wei is a badass, and I hope we get an idea of him, but I doubt it because we've never actually seen him fight. But, you know, one can hope.
맞아요. 역시 뭐든 끝까지 굴하지 않아야 결실을 맺을 수 있는 거겠죠.
Big wins.
지당한 말씀! 네, 널리 시춘군의 모험단과 우리의 이야기를 퍼뜨리면서 이 여정을 온 도시에 모르는 이 없이 알리도록 하겠네.
Every single person in the city, I will go to each one individually and tell them the full story, starting from Canto 7, all the way up to 2/3 of the way through Canto 8.
그냥 모르도록 둬.
It will be every soul, Heathcliff.
그래도 함께한 정이 있으니까 저희까지도 뿌듯하긴 하네요.
Look, they're laying on the good feelings way too thick. I've got to be honest. I don't trust it.
뭐 축하드려요.
Well done. Even Ishmael joined in to impart a sheepish congrats. But, guys, Zishun's not here. How the fuck did none of you notice that? It seemed that in their excitement they all failed to realize that Zishun herself was nowhere to be seen.
아, 시춘이는 철암사의 어르신들에게 가주 승계를 받아야 해서요. 잠깐 자리를 비웠어요.
Which makes sense. I see, thanks. Also, would you mind telling us stuff like that sooner so we don't look really dumb?
저놈 잠깐.
What should be Lee? Heathcliff rolled up his sleeves before striding full speed towards someone.
야, 너
Oh!
우리한테 뭐 할 말 없냐?
I mean, look, Heathcliff, he didn't fuck with us, you know, it's fine.
없냐? 요?
Yeah, smart guy. You person, you. What do you have to say for yourself? You human person? You person of somewhat notable wealth and influence? You pipe-holding guy? Sinclair, slow down, right? I think he's gonna start crying. Zhao, that's his name, Zhao. Cool.
다시 만나서 반가워. 그리고 원하는 결과를 얻어서 축하해.
You guys are coming up with a lot of animosity for a relationship that had zero animosity. He just simply went, okay, I don't really think you guys are what I'm looking for. Bye-bye. And then he left. He didn't attack us. He didn't trick us. He didn't mislead us. He just spoke to us for a while and then left.
온갖 멋은 다 부리면서 동전이 누구한테 가는 게 이득이니 뭐니 씨부려 놓고 봐라! 결국 누가 1등을 했지?
Well, technically not us, because we gave our coins to Zishun, but I see what you're saying.
그래, 돌고 돌아서 내 동전들은 마땅히 가야 할 잭에 간 거지.
Precisely as he intended.
뭐, 너희는 2등이긴 하지만
See?
아, 이게 거지.
Give him the backbreaker, Heathcliff. 2-1, do one, bang him out.
마지막 보답이라 생각하고 알려줄까? 머지않아 곧 먹장구름이 몰려올 거다.
By the way, you're not done.
네? 그게 무슨 소리예요?
It means big problems are gonna happen very soon.
축제는 잘 즐겨둬. 모두의 패가 어떻게 쓰일지는 두고 보면 알게 될 테니.
And it will suck. His concerning reply put a pause on our celebrations. We then slowly observed and took in our surroundings. People were talking, negotiating in serious, hushed voices. Some were constantly and anxiously running their hands through their hair. We also noticed some servants running to whisper certain messages to their masters, who in turn jumped to their feet before hurriedly leaving the banquet. Looks like we're the only group of people who are even remotely enjoying anything.
명색이 잔치라고는 하지만
Something's about to happen.
정작 가주가 될 장본인인 시춘이도 이 자리에 없고 분위기는 묘하게 뒤숭숭하고.
And what does Xiaomu think about all this?
이게 무슨 축제야?
This party fucking blows. I haven't even seen one keg stand since I got here. They've only got one beer on tap and it's Carling, and I fucking hate Carling. Garbage. Oh my god. Rhodia whined loudly as she chewed on a shrimp with just as much gusto.
면목 없습니다.
I mean, you didn't do the pie, it's fine. Dayu apologized as though she somehow felt responsible for this.
아니면 저라도 별 볼 일 없긴 하지만 몇 가지 재주라도 부려볼 수는 있는데.
You're not our servant, Dayu. You don't have to do that.
어렸을 때부터 이런저런 교육을 많이 받아왔거든요. 건무라던가.
Alright, let's not be so hasty. I want to see this blade dance.
오, 진짜? 그러면 보여줘.
아니, 뭘 시키는 건데요? 왜 남의 잔치집에 와서 민폐짓을...
Remember your manners. That doesn't sound very healthy. Good sign, good sign. I really thought it was going to be a combat encounter. Momentary power vacuum. Do people attempt to get stuff done as quickly as possible? Whilst there's technically no hierarch? Ah! Bao Chai, who approached us so carefully. Good sign.
무사해서 정말 다행이야. 2등이 된 것도 축하해.
Yeah, everything clearly worked out perfectly for everyone, obviously. Her demeanor had completely shifted. Her chipper attitude was nowhere to be seen. Now she was more anxious than anything as her eyes darted around nervously.
그런데
But you've absolutely fucked it up! I hadn't known her for too long, but I knew that this wasn't like her.
사실 이 말을 내게 하면 안 된다는 걸 알아. 어머님도 신신당부하셨어. 하지만
But...
말을 해줘야 할 것 같았어.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you divulging family secrets will also go well.
어떤 건데? 보차 누나?
Cool, thanks. What is it? Her eyes glanced down to her restlessly fidgeting feet, then to Dayu, then back to her feet. It was a while before she could look at Honglu in his eyes again.
보. 어머님이랑 가모님의 말씀처럼 언젠가는 다시 대관원으로 돌아와서 정말 나랑 혼약을 해줄 거야?
Are you actually gonna come back and marry this girl? Her eyes dart away as hastily as she wraps up her sentence. Something tells me that this wasn't what she was really trying to tell Honglu. There was something that was left unsaid, like she made a last-second swerve from what she was really about to say. Do you actually like that Dayu lady?
모두가 그리 바란다면.
Oh yeah, good answer. Show no enthusiasm whatsoever. Yeah, ladies love that. And actually everyone, yeah, anyone you're romantically involved with, if you want them to be pleased with you, just show no enthusiasm at the idea of being with them. Yeah, they'll love that. Yeah, that makes them feel great. But there's no hesitation or fear of regret in Honglu's reply. Which is good, the lack of hesitation is good. If someone asked me out and I was like, sure, if that's what everyone wants, I don't think it would sit very well. Is that a happy response or a not happy response? It's hard to tell with you.
이렇게 있으니까 꼭 네가 대관원으로 영영 돌아온 것만 같네.
Apparently he did well. Good job, Honglu. You handled this situation better than I ever would.
아름답다. 그치?
Many fireworks.
그렇네.
He's so fucking dismissive, flippant even.
네가 내게 좋은 향이 난다고 했을 때 말이야, 보.
Remember the one time you offered her a compliment and probably never did again?
내 방에 돌아가서 그 말을 계속 되뇌고 되뇌었어. 왜냐하면 나는 언제나 홍원에서 제일 값진 향수만 뿌리고 다니었는데
Smart.
그날은 유독 아무것도 뿌리지 않았단 말이야.
Huh.
그래서 얼른 내 방으로 돌아가고 싶었거든. 도시의 온갖 곳에서 구한 수백 가지의 향수들이 즐비한 내 방으로. 그런데 기어이 너를 만난 거야.
And Honglu's just gonna be like, yup, I remember. Completely passive.
우리 어머니가 먼저 번에 내게 자객을 보냈었지?
Get in line, Mrs. Zhu. Everyone's trying to kill Honglu, or at least they were, anyway.
왜 내게 아무 말도 하지 않았어?
Because if he took it personally, then he'd hate everyone.
누나, 내게 해를 끼치려 했거나 나를 공경에 빠뜨리려고 했던 자들에게 왜 그러한 말을 했는지, 왜 그러한 행동을 하였는지 물어봤더라도
Then he'd spend all day asking everyone in Hongyan.
그들은 결코 이유를 말해주지 않았을 거고 나를 대하는 태도도 변함없었을 거야. 그래서 나는 물어보지 않아.
Who cares?
내가 그들이랑 같았던 거구나.
I don't know how you actually extrapolated that from that. I'm not. How did? But like, you're correct. I think you are correct, Baochai. I think you are. But I don't know how you extrapolated it from that. I thought you might have extrapolated it from when he said, "If that's what everyone wants, then sure," and his general flippant behavior. But sure, okay.
아니, 사실 이 말을 하려고 온 것은 아니었어.
Good. You see, lads, Discord server. We have the new very stable face. That's very stable. Someone snip that up and put it in server suggestions. That'll be the new very stable emoji. Perfect. Baochai smiled again. It was a forced, awkward smile.
보, 이미 2등을 한 거지? 결과는 이제 바뀌지 않을 거야.
Indeed.
그러니까
So we're not going to be the hierarch power couple. Sorry.
지금 서둘러서 대관원을 떠나는 편이 좋아. 아니, 떠나야 해.
Oh wow! Now even your fiance's telling you to leave.
네가 대관원의 금고에서 원하는 게 무엇인지는 모르겠지만 그 정도는 나중엔 네 새가들을 보내서 건네받을 수 있잖아.
Is the entirety of the place just gonna jump him the moment he goes to claim the golden bow?
아가씨, 갑자기 왜 그런 말씀을 하시는 겁니까?
What the deal?
이곳에서 무슨 일이 벌어지는 건가요?
Yes.
나 가봐야 돼. 자리를 오랫동안 비우면 어머니가 눈치를 채실 거야.
But you should definitely leave straight away, and definitely not stay for the remainder of the canto. Trust me.
대관원에서 영모가 일어나는 거구나.
Ooh. Baochai was trying her damnedest to find an excuse to retreat from the conversation, until Honglu asked her this simple yet piercing question. She froze in place, her eyes widened, perhaps out of horror, perhaps out of panic.
나도 자세한 건 몰라.
But you do know some.
어머니랑 다른 친척들이 수근거리는 소리를 들었어.
Uh-huh.
보, 이곳에 계속 있으면 너까지 휘말리게 될 거야.
I'd say he'll be fine, but there are probably a lot of strong people around here. Perhaps at Shu's level, perhaps higher.
너무나 많은 세력들이.
I mean, we've seen that, you know, the, Thumb were here. They might be involved. And there could be others, too. Her eyes restlessly darted left and right through the entire exchange, searching for any listening ears. Just what could have made us so afraid?
무서워하고 있구나, 누나. 그런데도 내게 말해주러 온 거야?
Very selfless of you. We do appreciate it. I don't know if it'll save you, but we do appreciate it.
네가 대관원을 떠나야 한다는 건 마음 아프지만
Very stable.
너를 영영 잃어버릴 생각을 하는 게 더 마음이 아팠어.
Then you better send everyone you got to protect Dante, because as long as Dante's alive, it'll be fine.
서울 모차 씨, 경고해 주신 것은 감사하지만
But
결국 정확히 뭐가 어떻게 위험해지는지에 대해서는 아무런 정보도 제공하지 않았잖아요.
and these would all be useful in pieces of information. Ishmael prodded with a grim voice.
영모가 벌어진다는 게 정확히 뭘 말하는 거예요?
Are they gonna assassinate Zishun?
누군가 가주 심사 결과에 반감이라도 가져서 계략을 꾸미고 있다는 건가요?
Is Jiwa gonna have another go?
저 신뢰를 무릅쓰고 끼어들겠습니다만 보차 아가씨도 이 이상은 말씀하기 어려우실 겁니다.
Yeah, she's already putting herself at quite a lot of risk.
가문 내부의 일을 누설하는 것 자체가 이미 가문에 대한 반역에 해당하니까요. 대관원의 분들은 아마 이해하기 다소 힘드실 수도 있습니다만
And then there's the emotional implications as well.
이미 지금 정도의 이야기로도 판단하기에 따라서는 부디 양해해 주세요.
Yeah.
가환, 그자 역시도 보이지 않는 것 같은데.
He's sealing the bow as we speak.
그리고 가치우. 그자도 없어. 이거 점점 불길한 예감이 드는데.
That's the thing. Is it gonna happen now or when we go to get the bow?
다른 세력들이라는 말은
It does imply forces outside of Dagwon Yang as well, doesn't it?
단순히 대관원에 소속된 사람 외에 다른 외부 집단까지도 지칭할 수 있겠군요.
Me and Faust just on the same mindset. No thoughts but head full. Faust asked in a low voice.
그건
That's...
그래.
Oh, Chu, don't be a dick. Please tell me you're not being a dick. Please tell me you're here to warn us and you're not being a dick.
이제는 대관원이 손댈 수 있는 정도를 넘었다.
기척도 없이 언제
He's like, I'm everywhere, all the time, and can be anywhere, at any time. I'm very strong. And smart.
치우 오라버니?
Maybe... I wonder if he's leading like a proper fucking uprising. That'd be interesting. Baochai looked at us, then at Jiachu and his faction, then took a few stumbling steps backwards.
난 이만 가볼게. 뭐? 내가 더 있을 자리는 아닌 것 같아.
Time to scarper.
저도 보차 아가씨를 따라 이만 실례하겠습니다.
꼭 몸 조심해.
Yeah, we'll see.
저자가 내게 대관원을 속히 떠나라 이르던가.
How did you know? He did not look away from Honglu even as Bao Chai hurriedly walked away. Gaze unshaken, interested in observing no one, nothing else but Honglu and his actions. Well, I'm here as well, I suppose. I thought I had a lot of questions to ask Xiachu if we were ever to meet again, not that he would understand them. But now that he's actually right here, I couldn't recall a single word of it.
형님께서도 아시는 게 있으신가요?
Are you up to your fucking neck in it? Which would be quite a lot, because you're very tall.
주군,
I swear there was a special pronunciation for her name, but I can't fucking remember what it is. I'm gonna have to say Zigong, aren't I? Zigong. I'm just gonna have to say Zigong, because I can't remember what it was. Zigong tried to butt in, clearly perturbed, but Xiachu raised his hand and stopped her.
잔치는 허울일 뿐. 기류가 심상치 않다는 것은 이미 알터.
I mean, it's been pretty suspicious the whole time.
저자의 충고는 거짓이 아니었다. 목숨을 건사코자 한다면 유일한 적기는 지금뿐이라는 것 또한 사실이지.
But...
그저 그 말만을 전하기 위해 온 것은 아닌 것 같군.
It would be a bit weird if he did.
그래.
Shigong lets out a deep sigh before explaining with a defeated expression.
한번 가주가 자리에 앉으면 언제 그 자리의 주인이 바뀔지 또한 기약할 수 없는 일.
Uh-huh.
또한 기약할 수 없는 기나긴 기다림에 물든 미련 또한 질척거리는 법.
Considering the fact that a new hierarchy evaluation will likely not be implemented naturally for an extremely long time, especially considering how young Zishun is, she would probably hold the position naturally for a very long time. This tends to prompt people to act before she's comfortable within her new power base, if they're not particularly happy with her winning. And considering that she is quite young and is probably far from the most prestigious person in the evaluation who could have won, yeah, it's probably going to prompt some action.
자연히 먼 과거부터 고여있던 질척한 손이 뻗는 방향은 결과에 대한 승복이 아닌 결과를 그 손으로 쥐고 바꾸는 쪽을 향하지 않겠는가.
Oh sure, so many words to say sore losers.
어렵게 말하기는. 그러니까 가주 대전 결과가 불만족스러워서 이걸 뒤집고 싶어하는 사람들이 밖에 한가득이라는 거잖아.
Yes, we know you get a thesaurus for Christmas every year, Jigong. We know. Very impressive.
근데 이미 가주는 우리 시춘이로 결정났다고.
Unless people rebel and kill her, which is distinctly possible.
뭐 가주라는 자리는 절대적이라며. 이 고리타분한 체제를 뒤엎질 못하는데 무슨 반역이야?
That's true. Why would a rebellion half-ass it? You know, like, oh yeah, we're just gonna kill the hierarchy and get a new one. Well, it's like, if you don't like the hierarchy system, then why not fucking change it if you've got the muscle and the guts to do it? Because it's never that simple, that's why. You're speaking dangerous words there, ma'am.
순위가 공표된 것이지 아직 가주로 임명된 것은 아니기에.
So people are gonna act on a technicality?
말장난하는 건 재미없는데 언니. 짐승 냄새가 흩어졌다 했더니.
Right, because they're not here.
그렇군. 이해했다.
Would you care to share with the class, Otis?
오티?
이만큼 많은 인원 있는 공간에도 지금은 보이지 않는군.
That's because everything important is happening literally everywhere else.
흑수. 마주칠 때마다 그림자처럼 당신 뒤에 붙어 다니던 자들까지.
Interesting.
이곳은 부리는 흑수의 개수가 곧 힘의 척도.
Indeed.
가주라 한다면 최소 3무리 이상의 흑수를 부린다만.
And during this transitional phase, those three branches technically aren't under anyone's control.
허나 가주가 공석이라면 그들이 누구에게 제갈의 끈을 쥐임당하겠나.
Indeed.
그러니까 말했잖아. 가주는 시춘.
But until she's sworn in, they're not hers.
생각의 전환이 다소 느리구나. 아직 절차 중에 있다 말했을 터인데.
어? 그럼 지금 가주는...
It does seem like a massive flaw in their system, though, that the throne would literally be vacant until the new one's sworn in. Would they not? I mean, you know, obviously a plot needs to work in a certain way. I understand this, but why would you leave it vacant? Unless Jarmu wanted it vacant, unless she precisely wanted this level of, like, discord and chaos, distinctly possible. But ignoring that for a moment, why would you leave it vacant? To ensure a smooth transition of power, you just wouldn't. But then, of course, Jarmu might not want a smooth transition of power. You know what she's like. She's fucking spiteful old crone.
퇴역과 즉위의 찰나. 지금 이 순간만큼은 아무도 가주가 아니라는 것인가?
Maybe they just assume there's such a small amount of time that nothing serious could happen. That's when I suddenly recalled what Xia Yuanshun said as she announced the results of the family hierarchy war.
최종 승자는 이후에 철암사에서 어르신들께 인사를 올린 뒤 지상으로 올라와 대관원 1층에 입성함으로써 비로소 홍원의 가주가 된다.
And she asked everyone to accept it with grace and dignity, which they're not doing.
그렇다면 부리는 자 없는 흑수는 지금 뭘 하고 있지?
Probably wielding their blades for the highest bidder.
그것이 지금 벌어지고 있는 이 모든 원흉의 처음이자 끝이지.
Apologies for accidentally skipping that.
아무것도.
Nothing. They're doing nothing. Is there a way in which people can, whilst the throne is vacant, make use of their services? Or is the problem the fact that those Heishu will do nothing until Zishun takes the throne, at which point she is quite vulnerable until that happens? Because everyone's, or not everyone perhaps, but more than a few Heishu packs are probably going to be making their way toward her as we speak.
사방 천지를 둘러보시게. 음영이 잔뜩 들이오지 않았나? 주인 없는 짐승들이 모습을 감추고 휴식하기에 절묘한 시기야.
And it's possible that we're going to need to defend Zishun until she can assume the throne, because if the results of the Hierarch War are overturned, then we wouldn't be in second place and we wouldn't get the Golden Bough.
한시적인 중립 상태란 말인가?
뭐야 그럼
Or is it just the case that
지금이 대관원 빈집털이를 할 유일한 기회다 이거야?
so none of the Heishu do anything until this ceremony is complete?
당초 다른 인물이 가주가 되었다면 이런 일이 벌어지지도 않았겠지.
How do you figure?
가시춘 그 아이는 지지 기반이 너무도 약해. 그나마 있던 새가 또한 심사와 함께 흩어지는 모래알같이 사라져버렸으니.
Okay.
수만 없다면 충분히 영모로 자리를 빼앗을 수 있다고 생각할 수 있겠지.
Right, so most people who would become Hierarch and are in the process of taking the throne have a considerable power base behind them, therefore no one tries to challenge them because it would be very difficult to do so. But Zishun literally has Wei, and that's it. So she is extremely vulnerable. Okay. We should probably get moving, huh? Hey Zulu, how's it going?
독적인 사무소도 도착한 것을 확인했습니다.
The Whisper Office, that's a cool name. Assassination, I guarantee it.
알았다.
You have to fight them as well. Things were way more dire than I'd thought. But what's Jarchu doing here, chatting us up now, of all times?
들어라. 지금 이곳에 들어오는 자들과 이를 막으려는 자들이 있다.
Uh-huh.
알사의 제2무리.
R-Corp's second pack? Those look like reindeers. They've got the staffs. Okay.
엑스사의 원정 채굴 기사다.
X-Corp's Expedition Order of Excavators, and they look like knights, and I'm pretty sure they are, and I'm pretty sure that's the point. They look fucking sick. We're just introducing new corps.
엄지의 언더보스와 카포, 솔다토, 그리고 산하의 조직들.
That's fucking dire.
더하여 가시 가문을 지켜오던 가람대.
The Jarlan Guards, the Indigo Guardians of the Jar family, and they're fucking sick. So this is presumably the factions who are... I don't know, let's see. Let's find out. Let's not make assumptions.
K사의 특수 적출직.
Ah, the Excision Unit. Let's fucking go. All the warriors.
N사의 신구인회.
N-Corp's new League of Nine Literatures. They're making a move, I see.
이외의 다른 해결사들과 세가들.
And numerous other miscellaneous fixers and clans. Okay. Are these all the players?
보고받은 것만으로도 이렇다.
And those are just the ones you know of.
아직 대부분은 대관원의 벽을 넘지 않고 시기를 보거나 도착을 목전에 두고 있지만
Are they literally gonna siege the fucking place?
이미 엄지의 세력은 대관원의 입구에서부터 내 사병들과 격돌 중이다.
The Thumb are already attacking. Also, Chu has an army. Not entirely unexpected, but interesting to have that confirmed.
왕씨 가문 일부 세력은 막으려는 쪽에 동조해 주었지만 그조차 언제까지 버틸 수 있을지는 가늠이 불가능하다.
Lucky that the Wang are helping you.
각 가문에 실권을 쥔 자들의 지시만 있다면 언제 알사나 K사, X사 또한 어딘가에 붙어 참전을 발표할지도 모르느냐.
So we don't actually know which side K-Corp, X-Corp, and R-Corp are going to choose. Okay.
뭐?
What?
지금 발언 신뢰할 수 있는 정보인가? 그들이 왜?
The general response being, what the fuck?
이곳에는 가주가 곧 홍원의 주인이라 여기는 자들이 많지. 그리고 이 생각은 홍원 밖의 세력들 또한 마찬가지로 하고 있지.
So they all have puppets that they would rather be on the throne instead. Which is funny because Limbus could have established that themselves by putting Honglur on the throne, but they didn't want it. But the other corps, imagine being a corp and it's like, hey, we've basically got two corporations under our control, our own corp and also Hongyan. Not technically directly, but through a puppet, so basically.
그러니까 대관원의 사람들뿐만 아니라 다른 둥지나 외부 세력들도 가주 대전에 주목하고 있다가 발을 걸쳤다는 거군요.
It's a massive power play.
그렇지.
The cigarette slipped from Gregor's fingers. Otis's face darkened with a grimness I'd never seen in her before.
8, 9 풀린 것만 세어보아도 9을 넘고 있네만.
And they're all a lot stronger than us. Except maybe K-Corp, they're kind of wimps, but they're not. They're not wimps, I'm joking. This is too much.
다행히 지금 날뛰는 건 엄지밖에 없네만.
Luckily, they're attacking piecemeal, but that probably won't last forever.
특히 뇌횡. 그 엄지의 카포가 문제다. 동부 10검 중 하나인데다 무력만큼은 인정하지 않을 자가 없지.
Yeah, he's kind of an absolute weapon, and we're gonna need to find whatever mountain Ricardo got ricocheted onto and bring him back and throw him at Li Heng, not to win, but to hold him off. It would be a great fight, even though Ricardo would lose. It would still be a massive fight. Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot about Ryoshu's particular disposition towards this man, yes.
그자는 예정대로 내가 맞는다.
I'm worried he's gonna kill Chu. We'll see what happens.
입구에서 필두로 소란을 벌이고 있는 것도 그자겠지.
Sure you want to do that, mate? There's a lot of guns. There's a lot of guns.
그 말이 사실이라면 이건 단순한 반역으로 끝날 규모가 아니다.
It's basically a proxy war. Otis hissed in a low, menacing voice.
반역을 주도하는 가문은 어디냐? 어떤 날개가 등에 붙었지?
It's gonna be she, isn't it?
지금 시점에서는 확언할 수 없다. 소속과 가문의 얽힘은 사태가 끝난 다음에야 판가름이 나겠지.
I suppose it could be Zhu, actually, because Bao Chai's mother doesn't like Honglur, probably doesn't like Zixun by extension.
지금의 홍원은 효시가 날아들기 직전이다. 각 세력이 팽팽하게 당기고 있는 활 시위를 누군가 놓는 순간 걷잡을 수 없는 전쟁이 되는 것은 불보듯 뻔하지.
As dire as it is, that's a war I definitely want to be a part of because it sounds fucking fun, but I imagine we'll probably be playing more of an XCOM style role in this engagement, which would be to do a specific task and let everyone else handle all the heavy lifting. And by heavy lifting, I mean like the actual fucking war. Like, we'll be on a smaller scale dealing with certain things. I don't know, we'll see.
전쟁터로 변해 홍원의 빈틈이 더 벌어지면 각종 환과 그 제조법을 노리는 승냥이들 또한 필연적으로 넘어올 터.
I wonder if the end of Canto 8 is going to be the fall of a wing. That'd be fucking nuts.
웃는 얼굴들, 시귀대, 야차.
The smiling faces, the corpse core, the yakshas.
무엇보다 약지가 이걸 놓칠 리 없다.
The ring.
홍원 모든 주민의 삶이 조각조각 나게 꾸려. 단순히 후보자들의 싸움터로 지나기엔 너무 커졌어.
Yeah, right. This leads me to believe that Chu did not want Zixun to win. Because, fucking hell, unless he actually did want this hot place to burn. But then again, he's defending it. But that might be a play. That might be a front. It might be theater. So he can be seen as a brave defender. I don't know. There's a lot of potential directions this could go in.
틈이 벌어지기 전에 메워야 한다. 가주가 공석인 채 결판이 나지 않는다면 종국엔
Yeah, if Zixun is assassinated or delayed on her way to becoming the new hierarch, then the amount of time that the outside forces have to cause problems increases.
날개 전쟁.
Big problems.
웃기지도 않는 소리를 하고 있어.
Are you sure?
적어도 비슷한 규모까지 번질 가능성이 높다.
It'll be pretty bad.
이게 홍원의 가주가 가지는 무게다.
And we've given it to a small child. She's a competent person, she is, but she's young.
누가 위에 앉는지에 따라 수많은 목숨을 살릴 수도, 공연히 죽일 수도 있지.
From what experience we've seen, it tends to do the latter. The banquet hall is quickly starting to become barren as people began to hurry away. I don't have any direct memories of a wing war, but even I could feel the prickly goosebumps rising from my skin. The air in the hall was quickly turning razor sharp.
그럼 저희에게 형님이 기대하고 계시는 건 무엇인가요?
Indeed, we're only here for the bow.
나는 너희가 이 판국을 돌파할 묘수라고 믿고 있다.
You think so?
묘수?
가주의 임명을 서둘러라.
Yeah, guard Zishun.
가시추는 지금 선인들이 있는 철암사에서 가주 승계 의식을 준비 중이겠지. 선인이라 불리는 자들은 바깥의 상황을 전혀 모를 테니 가주로 임명하는 데까지의 시간이 어느 정도 걸릴지는 알 수 없다.
Who knows how long they're gonna wax lyrical for?
급할 필요도 없겠죠. 가주 외엔 그곳을 출입할 전령조차 만들지 않았으니.
Cool, good, great.
하지만 가주를 제외하고 유일하게 하나 있지.
But wait, there's more.
그곳에 드나들 수 있는 자가.
Ah, is it the blessed jade of the family? Is it Mr. Honglu?
가보옥.
Oh yeah, that guy.
가주가 비로소 제자리를 되찾아 흑수를 부릴 수 있게 된다면 대관원을 침범하려는 자들을 능히 쳐낼 수 있을 것이다. 가주의 자리가 공석이 아니라는 것을 안 자들은 새를 물릴 것이며 전쟁의 신호탄은 쏘아지지 못한 채 밟아 꺼뜨릴 자그마한 불씨로나 남을 것이다.
But she has to get there first.
주군, 용서하세요. 저는 아직도 의심을 거두지 못하겠으니.
Now's not the time.
어찌 저자가 묘수가 될 수 있다는 말입니까?
Did you really lecture Rodia on being slow on the uptake and you're asking this question?
본래 주군께서는 도박 따위를 즐기시는 분이 아니셨는데.
공이 기회를 낭비하느니 그것이 차라리 나을 터.
The shot may have a high chance to miss, but if you don't take the shot, you'll definitely miss, because you'll have never fired in the first place.
거듭 실례되지만 주군께서 지금 여기에 계시는 것은 시간 낭비예요.
I do agree that we've been talking for way too long, yes. Not from my personal interaction with the narrative perspective, because, you know, this is all great information and I really like it. But in a realistic perspective, he should have come here and been like, yo, people are attacking, you need to go defend Zishun, bye, and left. But yeah, not a criticism of the writing, because this is all really good information that we're getting.
이런 하류가 아닌 물줄기를 막을 수 있는 곳으로 가셔서.
Zhigong looked at us and Jia Chu anxiously.
낭비라 여길 필요는 없다. 내게는 충분히 가치 있는 일이니.
And that's all that matters, surely.
만약 가주대전에서 제가 처음 그린 그림대로 하시기만 했다면.
But yet he didn't.
어쩌면 저희는 다른 방법으로 지금 철암사에 당도하였을 수도 있겠죠.
Yeah, well, you didn't.
다른 방법이요?
자공이야. 그리했다면 해결된 것 하나 없이 더 많은 것을 잃었을 것이다.
Sure.
그리고 명백히 밝혀두고 싶군.
Stop wasting time questioning me.
이것은 제안이며 명이 아닌 청이다.
It's true, he can't realistically tell us what to do. He could try and force us, but he doesn't have time.
마음이 움직이지 않는 일은 행하지 않는 것이 옳을 것이니.
Indeed.
하지만 가보, 너는 모르겠지만 나는 이미 가주 대전에서 너를 두고서 도박을 행한 바가 있다.
And would you say it worked out?
너의 인을 이끌어내고자 하였으며 눈앞에 내보이려 했지.
Oh, he's so gonna die by the end of this canto.
그리고 기어이 떠다니는 구름을 걷고 내놓은 답은 나를 낭비케 하지 않았다.
Motherfucker, is that actually a smile?
형님은 어째서 홍원의 치세에 개입하려고 하는 건가요?
It is a bit weird that he is taking a direct hand in it.
형님께서는 홍원과 대관원에 어떤 구속이나 명분도 없는 처지신데
내가 직접 공멸일 날의 진실을 알아내기까지는 적지 않은 시간이 걸렸다. 처음에 이 마음을 지배한 것은 분노였다.
Naturally.
대관원은 전부 뒤집어야 마땅하다 여겼고, 이를 위해서는 대관원의 실세를 잡고 있는 모든 이들의 목을 쳐버려야겠다고.
That certainly would have had an effect, yes.
그렇게 다짐하던 때가 분명히 있었지. 하지만 나는 배워야 마땅한 자를 만나 가르침을 얻었다.
Oh.
그제서야 나의 분노에 내 몸만이 타들어가고 있었음을 깨달았다.
그 화는 지금은 온전히 꺼지셨나요?
Or did you just redirect it?
만일 내가 진실로 모든 깨달음과 이치를 얻었다면 가주가 될 모든 패를 내게 넘기지는 않았겠지.
Huh.
나는 아직도 답을 찾기 위해 배우는 중이다.
I love warrior scholars. They're so fucking cool.
단지 구제할 방법을 품고 있음에도 이곳의 혼란을 방치하고 내버려 두고 싶지 않다.
Respectable.
이번에도 묻겠다. 네가 가시춘에게 동전들을 넘기기로 결심하였을 때 어떠한 마음이 너를 결심케 했나?
Please answer quicker this time, Honglu, because we are very much operating on a time constraint. That's not a good sign.
단순히 원하였으니 내어준다는 마음은 아니게 되었을 테지.
One would hope.
형님도 아시겠지만 저를 제외한 대간원의 형제 자매들은 생일이란 게 없어요.
That's pretty dire all by itself. No birthdays for anyone. We're also canceling Christmas. You might get Easter if you're lucky.
아이가 태어나면 그 탄생을 축하해 주는 것이 아니라 몇 년간은 숨기기에 급급했으니까요. 다른 경쟁자들의 눈총을 끌지 않도록.
Makes sense, but goddamn.
시춘 역시 생일 잔치라는 것을 한 번도 해보지 못했죠. 그것이 무엇인지도 몰랐으니까요. 그래서 어렸을 때는 할머니께서 제 탄생을 축하해주는 잔치를 베풀어 주실 때마다 그날을 저는 시춘이에게 내어주었어요.
That's nice.
1년에 한 번 이유 없이 존재만으로 축하받을 수 있는 날이 있다는 건 즐거운 일이니까요.
I agree. It is nice to just be celebrated for being alive.
하지만 언젠가부터 제가 방 밖으로 걸음을 거의 하지 않게 되고 시춘이와도 멀어지고 저희끼리의 암묵적인 생일잔치 또한 너무 어릴 적 일이라 시춘이는 아마 기억이 안 나겠지만 적어도 그 밀렸던 세월 동안만큼의 선물이라고 한다면 시춘이가 그때처럼 기뻐해주진 않을까 그런 생각을 했네요.
Interesting.
이렇게 쌓아 올려진 동전들을 보고 있으니까 꼭 대관원의 방대를 보고 있는 것 같아. 어렸을 땐 그게 그렇게 싫었는데 내가 홍원의 가주 역할을 잘 해낼 수 있을까?
Did Zishan like the gift as Honglu wanted her to? We have no way of knowing. Also, there are more concerning things happening right now.
답이 되었나요? 형님?
I don't think the specific motive would please him, but what it represents, which it would be, I guess, Honglu's commitment to kindness, I suppose might.
본래 답은 중요치 않았다. 그렇게 마음이 움직이면 되는 것이다.
I'm starting to understand this guy. I think I know where he's coming from. I think I know what he's working at. Don't know his motives. He might actually be an asshole, who knows? But at the very least in this moment, I kind of sussed it. Cool.
나는 철암사에 들 수 없었기에 선인이라는 자들을 직접 본 적은 없으나 그들에 대해 알고 있다.
They're a real fucking dire lot. They're kind of fucked.
홍원. 나아가 이 도시를 지켜보면서 가주 승계 의식이 어떤 과정을 거치는지 또한 어렴풋이 유추할 수 있었지.
아하.
너 또한 관망하지 않았다면 직접 보고 들은 것으로 짐작할 수 있었을 터.
시춘에게 불운한 일이 벌어질 수도 있다는 말씀인가요?
이는 섣부른 예상일 수 있다. 관점에 따라 누군가에게는 아무 문제 없는 깨끗한 가주의 승계로 여겨질 수도 있으니.
I mean, we can't afford to stop the ritual or this entire wing burns.
하지만 나는 네가 직접 그들을 목도하길 바란다. 내게 걸었던 도박은 단지 그 뜻을 네가 이룰 수 있는지, 언젠가 보였던 희미한 온기를 여직 갖고 있을 것이라는 쪽에 걸었던 것뿐이니.
제가 형님의 뜻을 이뤘으면 하시는 걸까요?
아니, 그것은 내 뜻이 아닐 것이다. 그리 되어서는 아무런 의미도 갖추지 못한다.
아하.
어찌할 것인지는 네 선택이다.
Do whatever you want. I'm just sending you that way. But I, Confucius, have faith that you have some goodwill inherent to you. I don't know a lot about Confucianism, so not gonna expound upon it any further.
결정을 내려.
So decide. Oh, boy. Oh, jeez. Oh, wow, okay. That was a lot. That was more than I was expecting. That was a lot more than I was expecting. Thank you for the money. I do appreciate it. We still have 11 parts left to go. Like, yeah, it's nearly over, but at the same time, there's also a lot left to go. And I'm gonna end it there, friends, because that was way longer than I was expecting. Hey, the kite. What significance does this hold? Dunno. We might find out next time. We might not. Surprised that there was no combat, but because I kind of thought the banquet hall was just going to be attacked. I thought that's the direction they were going in. No, they went way fucking harder. There's an entire multi-wing war about to happen, and we have to go protect Zishun so that she can get her Heishu packs, 3 of them, to defend the place so that they don't take it over. Which is also interesting because at the end of the day, all we want is the Golden Bough. But I imagine Dagwanyan being taken over by foreign forces would in fact prevent us from claiming the Golden Bough, because they're not going to turn around and go, oh yeah, you can still have that, that's fine. So yeah, we do kind of need to get involved. Exciting, can't wait to see that. Unfortunately, I'm fucking starving, so we're going to cut the post-episode spiel here, and I'm going to say thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to our members and patrons: Addison Sells, Voltwolf, Miscreant, Rakuriku, Crescent, Tony the Horse, Sly the Hagsire, Bissalangi, Princeps, Jackomu, Mr. Chrono, Superstitic, Lumi, Svyhard, Mighty PH, Ensis Story, E, Lanthelian, Gage Johnson, Hoshman, Saga, Jack, Ninja Dog, Emma Fox, Grand Captain General Peace, Meanbag, Beanbag Turtle, Cuds, Canis, Samaria, Poe, Portugal Breck, Lifesteal, Megas, Z-Man, Unclever Names, Summercat, Flanny, Painted Shagoon, Lip Potatoes, Proxy, Caminera, Moa, Heartland, Herrick J, Dresso, Seal Distance, Lol, Etherbin, Linky, Zeon, Cedar, Binward, Alkir, Honeydew, Sweet Baby Red, Just Kitty, Plutonium Pie, Jim Ghost Up, Lullaby, K-Bub, Magic Owl, The Frostbite, SCP-168, Namad, and Kenny T800. For support me on YouTube and on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. I assume we're not going to have to fight Heng. Or Lee, whatever his name is. I assume we're not going to have to fight him because, A, there's no reason for us to do so in this context because we're not going to go anywhere near him. That's Chu's job. And B, he and Ryoshu have unfinished business. So I pretty much predict that he's going to kill Chu. And then he will be like the main antagonistic force during Ryoshu's Kanto. I kind of hope that's not the case, because I don't want Chu to die, because I think he's really fucking interesting. But he's a bit, like I said, I think in the last episode, he's a bit too altruistic to survive. I think. He's too altruistic and has too much potential to influence things, and he has too much power, which means he will not survive long enough to make real change happen. But his death will serve as inspiration to Honglu, I imagine. I don't know, we'll see, but whether or not we'll see will be later on, probably not next time, because I doubt we get that far, but it will be in the future, and when it happens, I hope I see you there. Doodles, goodbye.